And we're cleaning up the hoard pile, quite literally. Moving everything over, taking down this right here, and I'm going to build a corner section workbench here, probably about 40 inches, 42 inches tall. I don't know, I'll see. So for now, we're just moving everything out, and it's going to be built in a way that I can put stuff underneath. Again, this window's going, that window's going later, so I'm not too worried about blocking them. They actually get removed from outside, but a random project, just nothing else to do, so it's too cold outside, and it's freaking windy. Woo. Look at the wind and snow that just blew up there. It's not snowing. We're just getting some great. Wow, is that thick? It's only 40 to 50 kilometer an hour winds right now, so. Oh, look at that. It unzipped halfway. Perfect. I gotta go. But wow, is it windy. Just gotta go see what I got in the 2x4 hoard. I'm kind of afraid to open this right now because the wind's blowing right into it. And I think I got just enough wood to build that shelf. It's not so windy in here, at least. The poor diesel engine. Just sitting outside all frosty in its holes. Well, project's going pretty slowly. Got all my 2x4s and 2x3s cut for the legs. But we'll see. Yes, it's going to be pretty solid, but I'm only going 4 main legs. 2x4, 2x3 on each corner. Well, I know I haven't really filmed much, but that's the way it's looking. Yes, it's kind of a mutt mix of a scrap wood, 2x3s, 2x4s. But just one across the bottom for now. I'll be putting more. The front is going to stay open, unless we have somehow issues with it. But another support's going right across the center here. It'll be a 2x4 with a 2x3 on top, T-bar style. And then I'll be putting across here and a few other spots, and then I got to decide to go use to use scrap plywood or go buy brand new, because a 4x8 sheet of course would be perfect, plus it would give me some for a ledge at the back. I don't know yet. Okay, so there's the center one in. I wish I had more 2x4s, 2x3s. I would actually put a whole nother runner right here and another one right there. But at the same time, this is an indoor workbench. I'm going to be using 3/4 inch plywood. It should be plenty, nice and level. And that's all the way across, even though this board here, the way they sit on there, they're nice and flush to the very end here. All those are flush, it's perfectly level. Now, in between this gap here will be another 2x4 going across here, and then another 2x3 across on top, all the way around. So it's going to have an outside finish just like that. Should look pretty decent. But in my opinion, it should be more than solid. I was tempted to make it an L shape, but there's really not much room there. So, well, like I said, I'll probably end up making a backer board. Not too sure yet. That just might end up being something freestanding from the very back there. We'll see. Okay, so basically now that the whole top's done here, I'm not going to bother with any center supports right now. Don't think I'll need them. So everything's glued up. Oh, I forgot to sand this one. Damn it. Forgot one. And then, yeah, that one you'll see. I gave everything else a rough sanding. And then I'll be giving it a torch finish. Looks awesome when that's done. And that's pretty much it, all the way around. Well, I think that's as much as I'm going to get done today. I never did the back bar or pole or that corner. That one I did a little bit more. Again, I was only worrying about, you know, the stuff that's going to be visible on the front. I'm not worried about anything else. And as for underneath, I don't really care. But I'm almost out of propane, so, in the torch, so there we go. And it is rock solid. I mean, nothing flexes. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And it's a perfect size. About 7 feet by, what was it, 30 inches?
30 inches, yeah.
No, it wasn't 30. It was maybe 28. 28, I think, yeah. But it is rock solid. Perfecto. Okay, well, I'm thinking still I might use the old disappeared. The old crunchy plywood here, and then put new plywood on top to make it double as thick. Okay, so just went and did some shopping. Picked up a new battery for your girlfriend's Jeep. So it's mid-range, 3-year warranty. That cost $160 Canadian. That's a pricey battery. Only 3-year warranty, but I mean, I'm going to throw it on the charger. It's storming pretty good outside. Very strong winds. Hit 80-kilometer-an-hour winds last night. Picked up a couple more light sockets. They're in the house, but so we can get some lights for the garden stuff. This might end up being a gardening starting table. So I'm going to use scrap plywood. The reason why I say that is I was looking, they got the 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit thinner, 1/8 inch rubber mats that I'm thinking I could cover the whole thing with the rubber mat, and it'll give me enough to go up over the backboard. It's not going to be the entire length of this. It's going to chop off right here, but that's no big deal. I got a toolbox I was going to put probably in that corner or this corner. Probably this corner because, you know, I don't need to see that way. Rather see out there. Bunch of that window's going, but this won't be too bad. And another project that I'm going to be doing later is I'll be making a small shelf to put a couple batteries under here for a solar system. And I don't know. We'll see. But temporary, I'm going to start putting on some scrap plywood. When I say scrap, I'm just talking like we got, these are 3/8 inch. Put 2 of those together. You got 3/4 inch. Got a scrap piece of a couple pieces there. Got this big one here and a few more outside and a couple more in random areas. The idea is once that's done, I got a full length sheet of 3/4 or 3/8 inch that will go right on top of everything. So it's going to make it almost, well, over 1 inch, just over 1 inch thick, and then the rubber mat should be solid. Now, I did this like an I-beam with, well, it doesn't have a bottom board, but that's more than strong enough. That's all I got left for material right there, and a little couple pieces there. So it's going to give me enough to do my backer board frame, and that's about it. Are you spying on me? Don't need clamps. We're putting in screws. Are you trying to prove me wrong that we need clamps even though we're screwing it right down? So we're using the old 3/4 inch parts that we have. I'm going to start by gluing it across the top here. That's just where the first piece is going to go, right up to here. A lot of glue. And then we're going to put more 3/4 inch there. And then we're going to use the 3/8 inch over top everything. And then after that, I'm going to be actually putting a pretty thick rubber pad across it. But we got lots of scrap plywood. Might as well use it up. Well, the first layer 3/4 on. This is solid 3/4. This is 2 sheets here. So it's overlapping. So that's just to help it stay flush. And then we'll be laying the full strips of probably 3/8 inch over top it, and then the rubber mat. Should work out fine. And yes, this is pretty weathered looking wood, but it's just going in between. It'll be fine. A little dusty in here, just a bit. Holy, write my name in that dust. So that's how it looks. You guys can see the old plywood underneath. Nice and solid now. I don't care about any of that. I am going to probably fill it in with, you know, something, but edges are all nice and smooth. Corners are smoothed off. Yeah, there's a lot of sawdust there. I mean, that's 1 inch thick right there. Did the whole backside. Gave it a quick job on the top. Yes, I was using a grinder. I don't have my normal sander out here, but it looks okay. Again, this is getting covered with some rubber that's going to be put right across the whole thing. About 1/8 inch rubber. Might even go for some 1/4 inch stuff. So this is purposely smoothed a little bit more of an angle because my gut, yep. Need to be able to put my gut on the workbench like that when I'm working. Makes sense, doesn't it? Can't be cutting that. So it's pretty good. Look at that. The dust is way over here. Whew, someone's going to kill me when they see that. Good thing I don't have to clean it up. Poor dog food. Was that open? Yep. But it's all nice and smooth on the sides even here. So perfecto. Well, I'm going to let the dust settle a little bit more before I torch it. And then I'll be getting some kind of... Oh, and there's a little bit of a high spot right there. Oh, I see why. Right there. Huh, that's weird. It's like a defective wood panel. But it's going to be pretty good. So this is going to be temporary used just for, oh my god, going through all the gardening stuff. But, oh my god, there's dust everywhere. That battery is brand new. I think this will take a while to clean, but at the same time, it looks good. Going over it with the torch here. Kind of gives a little bit of a better look. But this is my project for the weekend. Made myself a brand new workbench. Just finished taking the grinder and grinding it. This is over 1 inch of plywood. Multi-layered, glued together. Probably used a liter of glue on it, so... But, you guys see the point? The whole thing is going to get a nice torched finish. Even though that's kind of useless. The reason why I say that's useless is I'm actually going to be gluing a rubber mat across here. Probably 1/4 inch thick. See my heavy-duty legs all the way down to the bottom. Real dusty right now. So, you guys can see. The beam I did up there, super heavy duty. If I had more 2x4s, I would have put another one right there and another one there, but I mean, it's friggin' solid. But there we go. Workbench. It's nice and sunny outside, but it's still like -30 out here. Just was a bitch getting this key to unlock. I think I got a little snow coming in. See what the battery power is. 13.6 volts. All the lights work still. Oh yeah. I come in here today because I need some of that. and some of that, because I'm going to be making some boxes on top of the workbench, I mean. So, turn those off. I just wanted to see if they're going to work. 14.9 volts coming in, so, or it went up. Yeah, battery's at, there you go. Yeah, she's getting a good charge. Okay, so, do I use ugly looking metal brackets on the back of the workbench to hold up the whole back? Make it freestanding? I don't know. Might do that. But I think I'll start with those flat ones there. Got a lot of attacking stuff. I got lots of different options here. And again, scrap wood. Might as well use it. And this is just because I cannot see up there. It's that high. Got lots of those angled cut ones. Those would be awesome for shelves. A couple, looks like 1x1s up there. But that's the stack I'm bringing in right now, and this is all premium wood. So, all sealed on the edges. But, might as well use them for something. Oh, solar panel is bringing in 23. Oh, fuck. This disappeared. It was just showing 23 volts coming in. That's kind of along the lines of what I'm thinking right there for the top shelving. And I noticed it's turning pink. See all the pink? What the hell? Why is everything turning pink?
I had nothing to do with that.
What did you do to me? Has a pink tint on everything. She says she has nothing to do with it. Maybe I should play back the surveillance footage.
I swear I didn't do anything.
Yes, there's cameras everywhere in here. But play it back and I can find out. Did you turn it to pink camouflage? It's not like you ever wear pink camouflage. Wait, you're wearing it right now. That is interesting. Well, it doesn't look the best, but it's a half a coat job, like my wood clamps. Yeah, I know, hey. They work. Again, this would be so much better if I had a full-size 2x3 and a full-size 1x6, but gee, yeah, but I mean, that's fancy looking wood. It's gonna look okay. Gives it more of a rustic look, having it all in pieces. So you have, as you see, there's an opening here. That's going to be for the next piece of board going that way. Same with this side. So it's pretty good. And believe it or not, the only cutting I had to do on this whole thing is that. Everything else lined up. All the scraps I already had. It's pretty good. So this is going to go along the back there. And then this front here is going to be drilled for screwdrivers, all kinds of things to fit into. And then I'll be having the side pieces coming out. And I'm thinking the sides I might actually end right here. Like just one length of board. I was thinking of going to the front, but I'm worried I'm going to do this. Wham! I think that'd be a bad thing. But oscillating tool right here, hooked up to the battery. Doing freaking awesome. Yep. That has been going good. And I went to check the battery. Believe it or not, I maybe lost 5% of the battery for like 2 hours of running that thing. So that is freaking awesome. Well, it's a little bit later, but you guys can kind of see the idea of how I decided to go with it. This corner here is pretty much almost done. A little bit of a different height between these pieces here. Got some staples just pinned it. Everything is glued. Again, this is going to sit in the corner later. Right now, everything's all loose. And I'm purposely leaving it on a bit of an angle like that. I don't know. I could always trim it later if I want, but I kind of like the look of it like that. It's going to be a step, and then the top's going to start right here for the top shelf. So I'm going to be throwing another one of those in that corner, and so on as I go along it. And then, of course, the top shelf. Oh, right now it's not looking the best, you could say. But again, 100% scrap wood. Like little gaps here where this should be touching to glue it. I do got pins in between, you could kind of see that. But once I put on the top, I'll hold it in place. Should be good. Well, I'm ready to flip it over here and go from there. So, time to start doing this side and then the top. Looks more like a crate, but that's kind of the theme I'm going with. Oh, there we go. Oh, and by the way, this isn't staying on here. That's just there to stop the glue from sticking, but I don't know, it kind of looks a little redneck. So, and I purposely tried not to block those joints. I wanted them scattered like that, so You see the glue's just drying up. So right now it's actually hanging off the back of the workbench, and it doesn't look too bad. I actually looked at it upside down, and it looks pretty good. Now, as for shelving on top here, I'm not too sure yet, but it's 100% perfectly straight. I mean, it's absolutely perfect with how it lines up. So you guys can see there exactly the way I wanted it, because I curved this, but I don't know. It will match. We'll see. Again, freaking cold outside. Nothing else to do. I wish I had better lumber, because you can see that looks like shit. Yeah, I know. So some beetle kill pine up there. So, yeah. Making more of a mess than it's worth, I think. But at the same time, this will be very handy. Okay, so I'm thinking now, instead of putting a top shelf with this, having it like somewhere to put paper, you could say. So, you know, it's organized, screwdrivers throughout them. Thinking of that. I could still do the top shelf like I was thinking. But at the same time, I don't know. Keep on thinking it's too short, and it should be way up there. Well, that's the way it turned out. Just got to do some grinding. It's a nice beetle-killed piece here, but it's a little warped, but a little grinding, you'll never know that. Just take this corner down. Hopefully it doesn't blast it apart. A little bit more there. A little bit on that end, but it will do. And it fits absolutely perfect, but I'm going to give it the same wood burn finish. I'm going to take the grinder and kind of rough up some edges a little bit, make it more rustic looking, you could say, and see from there. And again, I'll probably build another unit for on top of this after. I still got lots of boards right there, and a whole pile more in the shed. So I just stopped grinding, and the girlfriend just cleaned all this. Yeah, you can see I was grinding again. Ugh. Just rounded all these corners off here. Kind of flush them up. Again, I'm going for the rough look. Kind of rounded these guys off a bit. Flushed this down. I don't care about the little grinder mark right there. I could easily take that out. Did the same thing on here. Made this whole backside nice and smooth. Oh, I got to get rid of that ink mark right there. But looking pretty good. Got this clamp / nut and bolt because a little warped. Got that all smooth. Even to the backside. Bottom a little bit. Got a little bit more to do here. Just stop to let the grinder cool down. That's a hard one to get into, the corners. So, yeah, it's working pretty decent. You could say, oh, I should try to get rid of that mark too. But, okay, well, I know it doesn't look like much right now. I got a plan for these guys sticking out, so you guys will have to kind of wait and see. But the idea is to maybe make a lift up cover for this. So, left those sticking out on purpose just for that reason. Okay, well, time to get some grinding done. Well, there's an update. It's almost done. You guys can see I never burnt too well down on the bottom, but that's because I had it pushed in too far. But there you guys go. So I smoothed all the edges here. Gave these a little bit of roundness. Same with this. This back one a little bit harder to get to, but I got screw here, screw there, all the way to hold it. It is freaking rock solid. It's not going anywhere. Some of these shelves is a little bit of play in between them, but I mean, it's not too bad. If you notice here, the way it's done, I'll stand back for this. So the idea now is I'm going to build later on a second layer and then maybe a third layer of the exact same thing. But this was made out of all scrap wood. So all nice and smooth. Even this edge here, the whole side is nice and smooth. You guys can see the fit and finish, just a little bit on the inside there. This here is all smooth. So the idea now is what kind of finish to put on it. I got boiled linseed oil, but I'm thinking, yeah, that's kind of an oily finish. It's pretty dusty right now, so certain areas, like in here, I am going to take the torch, kind of redo certain areas. It's a little bit light right there, but it's not too bad. Barely shows up on the camera. But thinking either boiled linseed oil or maybe some kind of epoxy lacquer. I don't know yet. So yes, there's a gap right here. Originally, the idea was to put a rubber mat on it. The girlfriend likes this more than a rubber mat on it, but I'm not too sure yet. So fit and finish on that side. You can see it's exactly the same. It's perfectly across the back. And you guys can see all little scraps. Everything on the top was scraps. Now, this project here took me just as long as building the whole workbench to do that top piece. I know, hey? But it's all scrap wood. Like if I would have had solid 1x6s for the back like this, solid for the top, it would have been so much quicker. So much quicker. There's quite a bit of screws, a lot of glue. I even put pins in between the pieces there. These top ones here, there's no pins in between here. So I'm not too worried about that. It's solid enough. I don't know if I had a chance standing on it. But that's not bad. This, again, you guys can see right there how thick that is. That is freaking thick. Solid. Very solid. So, okay, so maybe if we decide linseed oil, I have some here. I'll make a video on that. If I decide to go a different week, if I decide to put another finish, it'll be on another video, of course. I didn't burn this side quite as well because, of course, I'm by a cold glass window. I could put something behind it, so I will have to touch up a few different spots later. But again, for the tools I had to work with, I think it turned out pretty damn good. So nowhere near professional, and it's still smoky in here. And you guys can't see this here, but see the pile of dust I just shoot? Look at that, hey? I already swept that like 5 times. Every single thing in here is just covered in dust. Like, look at that. Everywhere. Just covered in dust. I need a dust collector. Yes. Yes, I do. But there you guys go. Okay. Now the fun has begun. Filling up the drawers. Going through all the tools. Like, starting to go through everything, finally. So, I think I got enough screwdrivers. Yeah. Yeah, and there's more coming, so I got to pull it back out. I'm going to put the lock on it, whatever else, but that is a Sansi grow light that we're using to light this up right now, because I still haven't fixed that one. There's only one bulb going. Camera's not showing it up the best. There you go. But slowly going through everything here. What a mess. What a mess. I think I'm going to need to build a bigger workbench. Definitely another story for the shelving.
More storage.
More storage, exactly. And I'm actually thinking this corner here, I might drop another pole down and make actually storage shelves with the door here. We'll see. Lots more thinking involved. Well, I think I made more of a mess than anything. Get back to it in a few days. This is clearly the end of the video. I need more shelves.